Today I'm interviewing Marina Cicogna, who is really an iconic woman from Italy, who has made films, and she's also a fashion icon, and she continues to be the forefront of everything feminine in 2017. So Marina, when I first met you, you said a fantastic thing, which was life has never been glamorous since 1967. And I loved this, and it made me, or 68, this is 68? But it made me think, and I thought what it was like. I went into a complete dream when you said this.
Well, it wasn't exactly like that, but it is true that something broke in 1968 with the French Revolution and all that. Things that were totally natural. Big parties, a lot of glamour, a lot of show and all that, but were done for one's pleasure. Ended, the press came in very hard, but that's not what changed it. But what changed it is the morals. In Italy, for example, I gave a huge party in Venice because I had 3 films running in the festival by 3 great directors. One was The Stranger by Visconti, one was Belle de Jour by Buñuel, and one was Oedipus by Pasolini. So, we had 3 of the greatest Italian directors. And I decided, and I was beginning, with my company to become quite important, and we decided to give a huge party, which we did, and we flew people in who were working in Italy. Jane Fonda and Vadim were working in Rome, in Barbarella. Elizabeth Taylor and Burton were doing a film with my friend and director Peter Glenville in Corsica, and of course, Grace Kelly and Rainier came in from Monte Carlo. It was not seen as an over-the-top thing. It was 1967. After 1968, if I had done something like that, we would have been so criticized. We would have been looked upon as though we were out of our minds. So that's where I say that the mentality, at least in Italy, but I think a little bit everywhere in Europe, changed a lot after 1967.
Also, you started making films as a woman, and what was it like at the beginning? And how did it actually happen? Can you tell us?
I was always in love with films, and I knew a lot about films, and my grandfather, Giuseppe Volpi, Count Volpi, really, his great love was Venice. So when he was trying to make Venice glamorous and make the people come and all that, he thought, in 1932, he thought this was the new sort of a form of art, maybe, and they put up a screen at the Excelsior Hotel where the pool is now, and it was the first festival in the world in 1930. So when I was a kid, I used to go to the festival in the morning, and my mother would go bananas because I'd come back at night. I would have seen 4 or 5 films. So it was like, cinema was in my blood. I always wanted to produce films. But so for some reason that I didn't know, my mother and my aunt decided to put some money in a distribution company in Italy, which was called Euro International Films. And because they thought I had an eye, they asked me, to overlook a little bit the films that we were buying for distribution. We were not producing at that time. And I made some really big hits. I bought some films that were immensely successful. Not necessarily one was really fantastic, was very good, was called The Pawnbroker. It's a very famous film. But for example, I bought a German film called Helga. And Helga was the first film in history which showed a woman giving birth to a baby in first, close-up. And people fainted all in the things when they saw this in any case. And we paid 10,000, we paid 10 million liras, which is like 5,000 euro now, $5,000. And we made 3 billion. So suddenly, and then I saw that people that were producing films for us in Italy, they had the right to the negative, and we only had the distribution in Italy. So I said, I want to start, And as I had such a success, and we had some money and all that, I started producing. That's how I started producing, really. But I was at the time, without question, the youngest, but also the only woman producer in Europe, and that was, that lasted for a few years. There was no other women producing.
Which is quite astounding, really. And, and you're still an important woman within the film industry. But tell me, what was your favourite film that you think you produced, and can you say a bit about it?
Well, we have our favourites and so on, but
Yes.
I am, every producer, every important producer in history has one film which is representative, which is the film. But I will be remembered for Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion,
Yes.
because it won the Oscar, it won Cannes, and it's an iconic film, and it's considered one of the great films in history. So, but it's not necessarily that I love the film, but there are others that I'm attached to. I'm attached to my first film, which was called, Metti una sera a cena, which means listen one night at dinner. But I mean, I love Teorema that I made with Pasolini. I produced the first film that was important by a woman director with Lina Wertmüller, with The Seduction of Mimi. And, you like things that are breakthroughs in a way, and that are, Teorema of Pasolini, for example, is the only film where he had a foreign actor, because he used Terence Stamp, which I more or less forced him into doing. And the film is very much my imprint, because it's the only elegant, in a way, film that Pasolini ever made. He's never made another bourgeois, elegant film.
And you also worked with Maria Callas, which must have been quite something, because with Medea.
Yeah, well, I was very close friends with Onassis, but I was very close friends with his first wife, with Tina. And when they divorced, I stopped. I used to go with the boat with them, with Garbo, and everybody. It was fantastic. It was great fun and all that. Then they divorced, and I didn't see him very much anymore. And Maria Callas was an extraordinary star, huge star, but she was also a rather boring woman, in my view.
So, Marina, we do 15-minute interviews, so we're coming to the end.
Right.
But if you have, say, 5 things that you'd like to achieve, because you're a woman, you're an inspiration to all women, in fact, because every woman would like a life like yours.
Well,
so,
I should never.
Very contemporary
One thing, if I have to look back, I should have never stopped producing.
Yes.
Although Italian cinematography has not been the same since. It's not so great, but I should have gone on for a while. I should not. I'm lazy about certain things. I probably should have written things. I didn't. It's not. I'm always distracted by other things, and I'm also a person who is I'm very torn between the European rather lazy and aesthetic way of life, and the American more creative, more active way of life. So it's always been a little bit of a thing, and I've been more European than active. I haven't done as much as I should have done, but I can't say that I'm sorry. That's the way it was, and that's it.
Yes, exactly.
At the end of the day, people are very envious of somebody like me, although my life has not been as easy as people think, but they try to cut your legs if they can. And politics in Italy come into everything, and they're very, very rough to work with.
And I think you should talk about your dog, because you never thought you would love your dog so much.
Well, I've always had dogs. I think the world is so ugly that one of the really beautiful things that surrounds us are animals. They are clean, and when they are beautiful, and they have their own reason for doing things which is not dishonest. It's always straightforward, and I'm more and more attracted to animals and less to human beings.
And what about Ischia? How are you involved with Ischia?
Well, Pascal Vicedomini, he's very courageous. He tries to put together these festivals. It's not easy. So I've helped him in the past get some guests and things, and he relies on me for certain things. So, and in any case, this place is beautiful. You're a little bit removed from the world. The hotel is beautiful, and, I think beauty is another one of the things where we can attach ourselves and find a little bit of relief from all the ugly things that face us every day in the newspapers and stuff.
I agree. And so, anyway, you will definitely be going to the Vanity Fair party next year. I'm sure you will.
I'll take you to the Vanity Fair party next year for sure.
I know, that's why I love you so much. He loves to go. We have so much fun, don't we?
Absolutely, we will. And Graydon Carter loves me more and more because I'm helping his film go back to Venice, so we can do what we want next year.
Okay, well, you're an inspiration.